Jason Reynolds is the #1 New York Times bestselling author of books like Ghost, Stunt Boy, As Brave as You, with more than 6 million copies of his work sold. He's also the National Ambassador for Young People's Literature. His latest book, I have it with me, Ain't Burned All the Bright. And it comes with a powerful message. In fact, Kirkus is already calling it a profound testimony that does a captivating dance across its pages. Ain't Burned All the Bright is a 300-page multimedia book that uses the act of breathing or lack thereof as symbolisms to depict harrowing events of 2020. For Reynolds, each deep breath represents a powerful moment experienced by this country, including the pandemic, the death of George Floyd, and the California wildfires. He writes everything that was happening to us was stripping us of oxygen. These visual moments encourage young readers to find inspiration in the everyday. Let's breathe in that power. Welcome, award-winning author Jason Reynolds. Jason, congratulations on everything.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Tamara. Good to see you.
Good morning. I've got so much to talk to you about. Miles Morales, which is a huge hit, of course, in my home and an obsession. But we've got to start with this beautiful multimedia creation. I am so struck by the fact that you've said that you didn't read your first novel cover to cover until you were 17 years old.
Right.
What was the catalyst of change in your life?
I mean, I think first of all, it was tough for me to find myself in any literature back then. It was hard for me to see my details and the textures of my life in any stories. So if it wasn't for rap music, if it wasn't for hip hop and me being able to read the lyrics of rap music, then I would have never had found poetry, which eventually led me to where I am today.
Which is so beautiful, and I highlight that because, as you know, so many kids feel left behind. They don't feel that they have a connection to books. And then you pick up one, or a teacher, in the case of my journey and yours, a teacher shows you something and it takes you to a whole nother world. You now have this opportunity to be the poet, the writer, and the teacher to a whole new generation. I know that you've said that your books are from the perspective of a Black man for Black boys, but your books are also for everyone. How do you describe the connection you want to have with readers?
You know, I think that what books have the ability to do, and what I hope to have the ability to do, is to bear witness to their lives. I think all young people are asking for is for someone to say, I can see you, right? And not only do I see you, I love you despite yourself and despite what I may think of you because of the generational gap, right? I love you because you are here. It doesn't matter if there's inconvenience sometimes. I love you regardless, and I see you regardless. And I think there's power in that.
Yeah.
And books have an opportunity to sort of show that.
In this book, I know that it's recommended ages 12 and up, but the reality is this is the book you might buy for a kid in your life, for a teenager in your life, and then suddenly you're borrowing the book and the teenager is asking, where is my book that you took for me? Because in the book, you talk about giving kids, but also adults, the permission to feel their feelings and to validate the experience. When you were creating this, particularly the fact that it's multimedia, 300 pages of something I've never seen before in the way it's presented, was it validating for you as an author with all the success that you've had to be able to step out of the box and create this?
Of course. And to be honest with you, Taryn, it was a moment of desperation because it's all I really had in me, right? It's 300 pages, but it's only about 3 sentences, right? 3 very long sentences that run through the book. And that's because COVID in 2020 and 2021 made it really difficult for me, right? For all of us, but for me too, to sort of push forward and make a 50, 60,000 word book. I didn't have it in me. This is all I had in me and all I had to say. And so what you're really getting is a testament from me, but it's one that I think that we all share.
And Jason, let's talk about Miles Morales here. You were commissioned by Marvel to write a novel about Miles. When you got the call, like, how does this play out? Because I get goosebumps even thinking about it, as Miles is hugely popular in my house right now. What happened there?
The true story is they called me and I said no. That's the true story, you know.
You can lie to me. Listen here, lie to me. Tell me, why did you say no?
At the time, I was in the middle of a lot of other work. And I was like, I don't have the time. I can't do this right now. But I'll tell you what happened. I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma after saying no. And I was at a school. And there were 10 boys who I believe they were all in school suspension.
Mm.
10 little black boys to be specific. And I was asked to go and talk to them and spend a little time with them. And I say, oh, we're hanging out. They say, what are you working on, Mr. Reynolds? And I say, well, I just got an opportunity. I was asked to write this Spider-Man story, this Miles Morales story. And they say, well, who's Miles Morales? And I say, well, he's Black Spider-Man. And they lose their minds. And they're like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me it's a Black Spider-Man? And you mean he's going is he from where we from? Is he going to wear Jordans? Is he going to do this, right? And in that moment, I'm like, all right, let me make that call back and say, I'll do it.
You know what? That's a very awakening and spiritual story in many ways, because the universe put you in that situation for these kids. Well, as they say, the children will lead the children. And so you were led in so many ways. Has it been what you dreamed it would be even after saying no? Because once you say no and you go back on your no, you have expectations of the experience.
Of course. It was everything I thought it would be. I don't think that anyone could you can't imagine what happens when you make something like that, because you don't know how it will grow legs and how it will move around. And so what it ended up doing is far beyond I ever imagined. And I'm just so grateful to have been a part of the Miles Morales legacy.
You added a new character, an English teacher, Miss Blaufus. And that was life imitating art for you.
Oh, Miss Blaufus was my English teacher. She was the English teacher who saw my ability, who saw my talent. And I wasn't that great in her class, but she was able to say, hey, kid, you've got something. And we should figure out how to cultivate that thing you have. And so I'll always be grateful for the great Miss Blaufus forever and ever.
My Miss Blaufus, Miss Ernestine Rose, who is an author who watches this show every day, and the same, your experience, she really opened my eyes into Saki Shange. And that change, that was transformative for me in so many ways. Jason, we've been talking about the impact that you've had on children and young adults and adults with your writing. I want to show you a little something, two people who are great admirers of yours, Levi and Cortez from the Harris family. Take a look.
Jason, your two new bangers, Stunt Boy and Ain't Burn All the Bright. Our compelling conversation started for me and my son in a really unique way for us to bond. He identifies with the main character, Stunt Boy, young black boy superhero.
He ran into the lobby, to the elevator, hit the up button.
We're having gripping conversations about race and the pandemic. And I'm also having these conversations with my second graders.
Everybody say our challenges can become our gifts.
I teach second grade in Cleveland, Ohio, and I have made plenty of space for your literature in my classroom. And I have witnessed how your staggering writing affirms their lives, their stories. So thank you for honoring representation.
Man, thank you. It's never not a humbling experience to realize that something that you made, something that means the world to you, could mean the world to someone that you've never met. And it reminds me that that we're family, right? That we can love people, that we don't have to know people to love them.
Right.
And I'm just really grateful for that.
Right. We don't have to have the exact steps and the exact journeys. We don't have to look the same to have that love. And I have such great admiration and love and appreciation. I know you have a list of accolades and awards, but nothing, I think, means more than love. And it's clear that readers have fallen in love with you and what you've created. So thank you so much for being on the show. We appreciate it so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And you know what? You can check out Jason Reynolds' book, Ain't Burn All the Bright, available now.